So a few tips for indie devs who are also planning to release a game but with very little resource. You should be prioritizing your queries and really thinking about like funnels, progression, try and really get that stuff nailed down, and anything for your key performance indicators. So have a little read on what other companies are doing, what the industry standards are, and just making sure that you have those covered. Using third-party solutions such as Delta DNA allow you as a game analyst, or maybe even as in any kind of discipline but wanting to use analytics, it allows you to do that with very little resource. So I would recommend using a third-party solution. It may cost a little bit, but it means that later down the line you can just easily see the metrics quite easily. They handhold you through the process of putting data into your games, and it was very useful for us and on Freeblade. And if you want to in the future move away from that and start doing some more experimentation in terms of maybe having a database locally in your company to do extra stuff, then you can do, but a good stepping stone to that is to use a third-party solution. I would suggest you only capture the data you need, because whether you are going to use that data or not, it's costly, and it's also if it's a lot of data, it's going to be time consuming to actually delve into it and try and get any insights. When thinking about what data you need, think about the questions you want to be answering at the end. So thinking about your game, thinking about what is it about the balancing of the game that I actually need to know. Do I need to know how many times this particular action has happened? Or maybe it's a case of we use other kind of indicators from the match or the mission to determine other kind of statistics. Just think about those kind of things when you're deciding what data to capture. It's important to have good telemetry design. Freeblade struggled a little because we were very lucky to be featured on the Apple stage with the iPhone 6s, but because of that we had to do a quick implementation, and later down the line there was there was a lot of things that were missing, or events were set up incorrectly, or less incorrectly, more inconsistently, which isn't as bad, but it does mean you have to later down the line do some kind of magic pokery data science to clean up what you could have saved earlier on. I would also say planning is really important, taking time to really think about what you're aiming to get at the end, because it's all too easy to say, I want to capture everything and do that straight at the start, but that feels like it's possibly a little too easy and actually costly and a little careless. You can save yourself time and money later on by planning more in the first. So for Freeblade, we used Delta DNA, and we also then took that data from Delta DNA using scripting languages like R and Python, and running those locally in our own Jenkins environment, and housing those kind of scripts in Git so that we had historical kind of use of that, and we could see how those scripts were evolving. It also is great for collaborative work. As our team is growing, you can share scripts, and it also was great for us to see like SQL scripts and being able to reuse them for different projects. We then also have a Dockerized Elasticsearch instance that we have locally running that we use to host the data to go on a Grafana dash that we use to show health metrics and anything that we think is kind of really important that we want to see when we come into the office every day. And that allows us to know if something's going wrong or if everything's going fine. You need to think about how they want that data to be given to them. Make sure you're communicating with your team. Don't be some alien data person who is off in the middle of nowhere doing something scary, and then they give it back and you go, why do we have to do this? You should be in the team, talking to them, know them by name, go and have a cup of tea, try and learn who they are, learn why they want the data the way they want, try and maybe push them towards, like, we recommend using this, so whether it's a spreadsheet or if it's, a report, or if you're using your own kind of local stack like Elasticsearch, teaching them how to use it, and then they can give you feedback on how they would prefer to use it. Make sure you have that communication, and also always keep in mind that everybody's different. So what might work for this person may not be the same for that person, and being flexible is really important.